Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the Well for the week of 9/11, honoring the anniversary of 9/11. Yes. All right, so let's take a moment to tune into our gratitudes. And as a special honoring and acknowledgement of 9/11 as well, just take a moment to breathe, honor those that were impacted directly, losing loved ones or otherwise, and just sending healing energy and anchoring whatever in this moment you're feeling grateful for. Beautiful. And before we go into the reading today, I just want to put an announcement out that I'm so excited. Angela and I are going to be co-creating a beautiful mastermind community for soulpreneurs. So if you're a healer or you're just somebody who wants another way to go with your career trajectory, or maybe you're working in corporate and you want to not be in the corporate setting, whatever it might be, we're going to be launching in October a beautiful community of people who are soulpreneurs and are being called to work in the world in a way that might be deep in your heart, and we would love to support you in bringing that to life. You want to say anything about that before you do your reading?
Well, I think you said it perfectly. Yeah, we're creating a resource, gathering of resources to help people with the nuts and bolts of their business, the way to put it out into the world, how to manage it behind the scenes, all of that, and helping beautiful healers and people with soul purpose promote their gifts. Yeah.
And bring their gifts to the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Launching in October, and it'll be a membership community. So more to come. All right. So let's go into our reading for today and for this week.
Okay. Well, speaking of following your heart, we got have faith in your dreams.
There you go.
So this is it. So I love this. The first thing I got when I pulled this card was, oh, there's some of us out there who are our dreams have been dashed. We don't feel that that's viable anymore. We saw it, we wanted it, and then somewhere along the way, we got tripped up, or we had obstacles, or we had to take a diversion. And this is a calling that if it's something that's really pulling on your heartstrings, that's really still there, like with Grounded Dreamers, for me, it's been there. I'm not going to ever not know that, this is what I want to do, right? But it hasn't been a straight path. Grounded Dreamers hasn't been this explosion because I have another side of my life, right?
Yeah,
and that has to get tended to. But keep that dream alive is what this basically is saying. We move into, which I've been so much a victim of this, my mind, we move into a mental blockage, fighting that battle in your mind. Who am I to think I can do this? I tried it.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. I tried it. It didn't work. I got this far down the path and then everything fell apart. Whatever. This is your mind telling you no.
Yep.
Your experience may have been not yet. The universe might have said not yet. But when your mind tells you no, it shuts you down, right? So we're going to try to clear that here. I pulled Vision Quest, which is the calling. When you're in the desert, this is a card of the desert. And when you're in the desert, there is so much space, and there's movement and activity, but there's so much space with which to find solitude and peace. And if you don't live in the desert, or if you don't live somewhere near some expansive nature, you can create this space within you, but find solitude, find a clearing, even if it's, a corner of a park. This is kind of calling you to be out in nature, to sort of generate some of the new ideas that need to come through, or the new momentum that you're seeking for this dream of yours. But find a solitude space to clear and meditate, and then just observe what arises. Don't take any action. Don't put any, don't let it reach your mind yet. Observe what arises and then feel. what feelings go with that. If something, just real simple, I have a project, I have choices of point A or point B, path A or path B. As I clear my energy and meditate on this, I feel this, first of all, the first thing that comes to mind is path B. And then the feeling that follows that is fear.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of path A, the feeling that follows that is flow and love. That's the direction. Even though your mind might say, yeah, but this way it felt more thorough, or it had more details, or it felt more, following your feelings is just as important as following your mind.
But I love what you're saying too, though, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's so important. Feelings are an interpretation as well, right? So it's so important to be with, okay, fear is coming up about this path, and that's the interpretation that you're creating. And there's another path with an interpretation that actually allows for flow, right? And so it's like we can change the way we're interpreting our experience, right? Like we're creating that. So I just wanted to bring in that element of what you're saying. It's so
you're totally creating it by tuning into your feelings. Now, there could be a situation where fear arises, but it's only, when you start to break it down, it could be the imposter syndrome fear, which is a whole other set of things to work on.
Yeah.
Or, some other, it doesn't mean stop. It just means pause and reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then I pulled, I love this. So now we're in this clearing, we have this vision, we're feeling it through. And then I pulled underneath the lizard's skin. I love these cards. I gotta use them more. I just got them. But this is that idea of, how the lizard regenerates itself. Like you cut off its tail and it will regenerate. Or like a snake sheds its skin when it needs to, all reptiles or whatever. This is calling for you to, as a result of your clearing, feeling into it, bringing up the motivation again for this dream that you want to see go forward, then letting go of all that you thought you knew in the past about it. Mm-hmm. And then before taking action toward that new way or the new path or the phase 2, before taking action, it's being in this temporary space of vulnerability as you allow yourself to process what's coming, process that you let go of what was, and then process the next step. But that it's really just feeling into it a little more, because we forget that part. We get ourselves into this, these mental paths that bring us energy and motivation and drive, but our feelings have to be in there too. The way we
honor our feelings,
respond to it. Yeah, you got to honor yourself. So yeah, I love that card. I've had something else come through and now it slipped away. So if it comes again, I'll let you know. Then after this shedding and the willingness to be vulnerable, I pulled the wisdom card. So the vulnerability that comes through this, okay, I'm not going to try to do it this way anymore. I'm going to try this new way. That vulnerability is supported by your wisdom, by your experience, and the way that you've approached things in the past, or the way that you can recognize, I've made it through so many obstacles before. I can do this, right? It's that wisdom is your strength in this moment. I know what I was going to say. This whole dream, whatever we're talking about that opened up the reading, could be something tangible, like a project in your external world. It could be something less tangible, but just as important, like a relationship, creating a new level of a relationship, working through some obstacles, whatever. Or this could be fully for yourself. I want to reinvent the way I interact with whatever it is. This could be something that you're developing within your soul. That's, I wanted to say that. So after wisdom, right, we have the shedding, and then the wisdom comes on to kind of be our little cheerleader and say, you've done this before, you can do this. Then I got transmission. And now this is the wisdom energy coming back to us, being received by spirit, right? So the whole gist of this card is cleanse your energy, invoke the highest good, and then receive it. That's really all it is. And before, in all these cards before, we've built that foundation. So the cleansing, and then receive what you hear, what you know, the signs of how to proceed. And then the last card in that spread is the master. This is how you begin mastery, is by incorporating what you know, what you want to learn, what you want to achieve, how you feel, how it relates to the situation, and you incorporate all of it. And that's your mastery, by being able to have that balance on your path.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that. And it's like, I want to just say also, it's like incorporating it all after we've cleared the fear, right? So we're incorporating it from a flow state. The fear, we're not caught in the fray of fear, but we're incorporating it all, right? And then we're moving from that flow.
From there, yeah. The
Yeah.
forward
Forward from that, in that flow, and from that flow. Yeah. So igniting our dreams, right? Like being with our dreams, and still. So just take a moment now and just pause into that stillness, the stillness of the desert, the beauty of it, the vastness. Just kind of pause and be with that. And then finding an oasis in that, the stillness of the lake and the water, just letting yourself and your dream be nourished there. And then the lizard, the energy of that lizard shedding. And just holding space for the shedding of that skin to be releasing an aspect of our past that may be obstructing our future. Just let that go. And then just allow that lizard really to be basked in the sun and supported in growth. And just take a moment and just see what you see in this reading today, what transmission, wisdom is coming through. And start to allow your intention for this week to begin to crystallize, to begin to take form and shape. Okay. And I think I heard you say in the group earlier too, the key, is really receiving the wisdom, receiving what, is coming, clearing, not being in the fray of fear, opening up to the energy of source, and then receiving the information and the wisdom intuitively, right? So I just wanted to highlight that key you mentioned in the group, of course.
Yeah, I think I did, because it was sandwiched between the wisdom and the mastery. That's where,
yes,
in the group I highlighted that, because that's the key. These are the helpers, right? Or this is the outcome, but this is supporting it. But that's the key there, is to be able to stay open. Yeah.
I love that.
Okay.
Beautiful. So, and then, so let's move into the second part.
Okay. So, we have mastery. Oh, good. I'm getting this, I'm getting this. And then another obstacle comes.
Yeah.
Which is the reality of any path, right? Of any path, whether it's, how am I going to travel through this next 2 years? What am I going to, whatever, even if you don't know, even if you don't have a goal, every path involves ebb and flow. It just is. That's what, we would be robots if not.
Exactly.
So we need to account for the feelings. So we do encounter moments where it's like, oh boy, I have this goal, I have this wish that I want to fulfill, and it's way out there in the distance. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. It's not coming. That is accompanied by this card called Thicket of Thorns, which is your uncertainty. The thorns that come up are your challenges or your obstacles or the things that block you. And the thing about this energy is trying to go forward and get through some thickets. You're just going to encounter more, right? It's like, I'm trying to make sense of this mess and dig my way out. It's really going to just be more of the same. And so the guidance here is to stop moving, stop trying right now. Stop, not forever, don't give it up, but pause and wait and see what arises. And we know what comes next.
Moment to moment, right. Let the clearing open up.
It opens up, and then you're in the flow. And remember, with this figure, he is on that boulder that's supporting him and isn't really taking a next move until he feels it's right. He knows it. He goes within and draws up his internal energy, and that is going to be his guide through this next part, since he
His life
can't
force.
see. That's the life force. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't see through the thickets. He doesn't know the direction to take, but he knows the path is there. Right. So he'll wait. He, she, they, all of us will wait. And then I got, this is kind of a obvi card. Duh. Your commitment is being tested. The universe is like, that's your dream over there, and you can hold that dream. But let's see what happens if, let's do devil's advocate. Let's see what happens if this comes through.
Yeah.
Then what's your path to your dream look like now? And so that knowledge that there's going to be some testing along the way, but it shouldn't stop you. We should take sometimes those no's or those blocks are just saying, not yet, not in that manner, find another route, pause for a second and reassess, get in touch with your feelings, right?
Yeah.
The things that block us aren't there to stop us, unless we want to be stopped. But the pace and the path that we take, we do receive, like we talked about, that key part is we receive that information from the universe. Sometimes we ignore it, or we're not aware of it, we're not looking, but it's always there. It's always there. So, and then I got realignment. This is the ebb and flow. This is like, feel the ebb and flow of life. Make sure that internally you're aligned so that you can move forward in your external world, as a whole.
And align with flow. Align with the flow, not the fear.
The flow that's there. Yeah. The flow that's there too.
Yeah.
And then I got right underneath the thorns card, in the woods, I got Wizard of the Woods. So this is that moment and that energy that when you've taken the time to pause and be in the moment and allow for whatever comes through to come through in your alignment, now you get a little beacon, like the little light bulb goes off, and it's like, okay, there it is. And now you direct your focus, and you have clear, unbridled focus towards your intention. You use, oh, here's where I'm going to go next. And that is,
I just realized, can you hold that up again? I just realized how connected that card is to the wizard card that came in earlier. Wizard of the Woods, the focus, and even the light, like the master card that you pulled earlier, that was
this guy, the master,
the wisdom and the transmission. And I just realized how similar those cards are.
Yeah, it's true. Look at even the colorful,
right?
The way he looks with the long white, the beard of the sage. Yeah. So this is that moment that you get to, even in the darkness, even in that thicket of thorns, you can, pause and create your intention for what's coming next.
Absolutely.
Then you'll know when to move. Then we got ignite. It's your potential. Follow your flame. Follow that desire that you've created through focused intention. Now you take action, right?
Ignite and release your potential. Yeah.
And then the final card is blessings. And this I got to not ever discount or disregard your progress thus far. Like the blessings are now, not at the end of the achievement. The blessings are now. Oh, my achievement's there. The beginning of my path was there. And this is where I've gotten this far. And really being able to call in the appreciation and the gratitude for your path and what you've achieved now. And sit with that before you, move on to your next part of your path. Just acknowledge how far you've come, because that's generating motivation to keep going and take your next steps.
I love it. And I want to jump in and acknowledge a blessing. You were talking earlier about your dream of grounded dreamers and the evolution of it. And I want to acknowledge a blessing in my journey with psychodrama. I'm a psychodramatist, and I took a break from the track I was on pre-COVID, or in the beginning of COVID, because it just was too much. Now I'm back on that track and teaching psychodrama to interns and doing psychodramas in person again. And always in my heart and in my body, that modality has stayed in me as an embodied method. And it just keeps coming back into my world and my space. And when I'm in the world of doing it, it truly is like a passion igniting. And that's what we are bringing as the mastermind we're creating for soulpreneurs. That is the way that, like, in my experience, that's been the journey. It's like the dream is there in your heart, and sometimes it's just a little spark, and then it doesn't go away. And then we keep cultivating it and creating space for it. And so I just like all the stuff that's happening with psychodrama right now is just all happening kind of out of nowhere. It's like, it's such a blessing because it's just like the universe is saying, yeah, we know this is your dream and we're going to support you in continuing to create that dream. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that blessing in because I'm feeling super grateful.
Yeah. And it's like
yeah,
what I was saying earlier with Grounded Dreamers is the initial vision I had has morphed into something.
exactly.
It's still the same general vision, but there's been more arriving, like the mystical fair and the way I created the Dreamers blog now, and there's more things filling it out on the way that I didn't have in my initial plan. But because of the pacing and the allowing for, the universe to show me the signs as I'm over here functioning in my very busy regular life, this dream is unfolding. And because I didn't approach it like a business plan, I approached it like an offering that I want to create to bring, an energy that I want to create to bring into the world. It's taken on a fullness that I never could have really imagined from the beginning. So it's being patient, and when new ideas come along,
but also not giving up.
Listen to them. The new scenarios that show up.
When new ideas and new scenarios come in, listen to them. But also, it's never giving up. It's not giving up. And it's also listening, but it's also distilling and discerning. It's like, okay, that's a new idea, and let me just be with it and see if it feels right. Because maybe it doesn't. Just because a new idea is coming in doesn't mean that you have to take action on it. Like, okay, be with it and then choose what you do, so yeah, beautiful. All right, well, I hope everyone has an amazing week, and make sure you set your intentions, and have a great week.